The ever-reliable David Marcus, swooping in to remind us that qualifications are just an outdated concept standing in the way of Trump's grand vision. His recent piece on Pete Hegseth's confirmation as Secretary of Defense is an exercise in Olympic-level mental gymnastics, trying to convince us that experience and expertise in running the most complex military organization in the world are, in fact, liabilities. Let's take a moment to appreciate the sheer audacity of Marcus' argument. Hegseth is qualified precisely because he isn't qualified. It's the kind of logic that makes you wonder if we should start hiring airline pilots who have spent years critiquing aviation safety rather than, actually flying planes. The woke boogeyman strikes again. Marcus' main gripe? The dreaded specter of wokeness? Apparently, anyone who has ever worked with a defense contractor is automatically complicit in the grand conspiracy of diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's right, folks. The real problem with America's military isn't global threats, recruitment struggles, or operational readiness. No, it's diversity training. Forget China's military expansion or Russian aggression. What really keeps the Pentagon up at night is whether the guy in the next cubicle went to an unconscious bias workshop. The anti-expertise movement in full swing. Marcus wants us to believe that rejecting established expertise is some kind of revolutionary act. But in reality, it's just another example of the Trumpian fetish for replacing competence with sycophancy. The reason Hegseth didn't get McConnell, Collins, or Murkowski's votes isn't because he wasn't part of the defense industrial complex. It's because he has zero experience managing a bureaucratic behemoth like the Department of Defense. This isn't an insurgency against groupthink. It's just a political stunt. Let's not pretend Hegseth is some maverick outsider bravely taking on the establishment. He's been a professional Trump cheerleader for years, parlaying his military service into a lucrative media career as a Fox News personality. He isn't draining the swamp, he's just splashing around in a different part of it. If anything, his confirmation is proof that the only credential that matters in the modern GOP is unwavering loyalty to Donald Trump. The military needs leadership, not a culture warrior. At the end of the day, running the Pentagon isn't about writing books, hosting cable news segments, or giving rousing speeches about wokeness. It's about managing an institution with a $800+ billion budget, ensuring military readiness, and making life-or-death decisions. If Marcus truly believes that Hegseth's Princeton and Harvard degrees, a decade in the infantry, and a few years of political punditry are enough preparation for that, then perhaps he should advocate for installing reality TV stars as airline CEOs and TikTok influencers as hospital administrators. After all, actual experience is so overrated. The bar is in the basement. Marcus ends his piece with a particularly revealing sentiment. If Hegseth fails, we'll find out soon enough, and then he'll be willing to apologize. How reassuring. Shouldn't we maybe try to get this right before appointing someone unqualified to oversee national defense? The military isn't some ideological pet project. It's a serious institution with real-world consequences. But in the MAGA-verse, governing is secondary to owning the libs. If people like Marcus get their way, America's armed forces will be run like a Fox News panel, not a world-class fighting force. So, no, David, the real problem isn't that Collins, McConnell, and Murkowski were looking for the wrong credentials. The problem is that people like you are cheering on a reality where credentials don't matter at all.